What is going on? My name is Dan. I'm doing another reaction. Today it's Tom Macdonald, American Dreams. This is an older one, a few years ago. Working my way along the list of the important Tom Macdonald songs to check out. This is next up. And we're going to keep going along that path unless he comes out with some new music. And then we'll, shuffle the new stuff in as I'm working through the old stuff until I catch up. And then at that point, I don't know what I'm going to do because I love listening to Tom. But he's got plenty of music, so we're going to keep checking it out until I run out. I still have this entire album here that I have not checked out because I still yet do not have a CD player. So I think I need to get my ass on eBay and get myself a CD player. Or I need to get something so I can possibly hook it up to my computer and I can do reactions to the songs because apparently Tom, so you guys have said in the comments, Tom's cool with doing a reaction to even the exclusive stuff on the physical CD and everything like that. So I would love to be able to do that and check that out. I just have to figure out a way to do it. Don't know yet, but let's get to this one, American Dreams. Enough talking.
We're making murderers famous. They kill a bunch of kids and get on all the front pages. I don't know none of the victims. I know the guns in the system promote the ones who are dangerous. It's become entertainment. We got t-shirts and posters covered in murderers' faces. We got movies getting made portraying killers as saviors and parents leaving kids alone at home with guns in the basement. Would you pull me from a burning car? Run to get your phone so you can film me yelling world star. A gun don't make a soldier with a purple heart. A gun cannot protect us if we don't know where our morals are. Students fill the classes and the graves, and you claim it's a conspiracy to take your guns away. All the while the family's torn apart and trying to ask why their son deserved to die at his desk in his class. We don't want a politician.
Alright, well this seems heavily about like school shootings and stuff like that, I'm guessing. Yeah, a lot of that breezed over my head. I'm sorry, I actually want to like restart that over because I was kind of zoning out. I got the gist of it, but I want to hear it again.
We're making murderers famous. They kill a bunch of kids and get on all the front pages.
Right there. That's a huge key point I remember from the first time I heard it. So that is a very controversial thing. It's like you want to be able to have free press and like talk about what's going on, but the issue with that is there's a lot of copycat situations where people want the fame and the attention. A lot of times that's why they do it, because they've been so mistreated or bullied or whatever, felt left out, neglected, and they see these people getting these recognitions and them reading out these like the notes that they leave behind and stuff like. Well, that's why they're not allowed to do that anymore either. They're not allowed to read out the notes anymore. But now they're talking about not even being able to talk about the person who did the shooting, because it's just creating this, like, basically it's making them famous, and that's what some of them want, and it is just dangerous in that way. I don't know that that's not, I'm not saying that that's like the cure for it, and I don't know how much that would even really help, but there's at least some sort of, substance there and topic to discuss on whether or not that is a good or bad thing.
I don't know none of the victims. I know the guns in the system promote the ones who are dangerous. It's become entertainment. We got t-shirts and posters covered in murderers' faces. We got movies getting made portraying killers as saviors and parents leaving kids.
So who's the guy on that shirt that, like, I know these people always wear this shirt of this dude, like Che Guevara, so, I don't know, something like that. And it's this socialist dude, and pretty sure he killed a bunch of people, but a lot of people in this country like him for some reason. I don't know. I guess because he had like free schooling. I think it was down in Cuba, something like that, or Venezuela. I don't remember exactly. I just know that there's a lot of controversy around that dude, and yeah, I don't know. I'd probably have to do a little more research on that guy before I take a strong stance. But I know he's socialist or something like that, and I'm not a big fan of that. So
Alone at home with guns in the basement. Would you pull me from a burning car? Run to.
now I'm saying I don't know if that's actually who that is on that shirt, or if that's like a play on that. But that's just what that reminded me of, and that I'm not sure if that's who he's kind of was referencing or not.
Get your phone so you can film me yelling world star. A gun don't make a soldier with a purple heart. A gun cannot protect us if we don't know where our morals are. Students fill the classes and the graves, and you claim it's a conspiracy to take your guns away. All the while the family's torn apart and trying to ask why their son deserved to die at his desk in his class. We don't want a politician.
He seems to be shooting at both sides with this song, which is really interesting because there is a lot of good conversation that can actually come out of that, because they're pointing out a lot of the issues that both sides will just fire at each other, and no one really listens at each other or listens to each other about any of the real concerns. And the thing is that out of all the back and forth, no one has ever really come up with an answer. Where with conservatives, like some of the talking points I've heard is like, oh, give teachers guns. I'm like, I mean, I don't know if you should just give teachers guns. I mean, I've had plenty of teachers, and there's plenty of teachers that would not want to have a gun, to be honest. There's plenty of teachers who shouldn't even be teachers. There's plenty of teachers who shouldn't be around kids. So I don't know about that, giving all teachers guns or whatever. All right. But on the other hand, the left likes to say, just get rid of all guns. Yeah, well, that's kind of what we tried to do with drugs, and you kind of see how that worked out. Didn't at all. So, yeah. There's a lot more discussion that has to be had, but almost at this point, like, if no one comes up with a solution first before you start talking, or not like a dead solution, but like a possible solution, you can't have anything to talk about. Like, we both know that those two solutions aren't right. There's a lot of other stuff that can go into it. Anyone I've talked about, has talked about it, has a real conversation with it, it goes a lot deeper than just like like, you can't just change one thing and think the problem's going away. So, it's going to take a lot more than just giving teachers guns or just banning all guns. It's not going to work.
Making money off the bullet holes. They're digging our grave, the home of the brave has gone up in flames. Give a f*** about the system. We're not doing what we're told. The land of the free is armed to the teeth. American dreams. We're distracted by free porn and compilation videos of puppies and kittens. While our children use the internet to bully one another and then purchase ammunition. So addicted to your phone that you ignore the kids and never give them any supervision. So they learn to build Obama things you keep inside your kitchen, and you wonder how they ended up with life inside a prison.
Right here, biggest thing, one of the biggest things. Parents, do your fucking job. Like, 99.9% of anything that happens to a kid is because of you, because of parents. It's like, you gotta be responsible. And people come up with so many excuses as to my kids do all these things, and I try to tell them that. It's because it's the way you're doing it. It's the way you do things. Like, either they don't respect you, you never raised them right to respect anyone. Like, there's so many tiny little things that would go into parenting and raising a kid. It's like, holy crap. Like, they're learning everything from you. So if they're doing something, it's because of you. If they're doing something because they learned it on the internet, it's because you let them. I don't know. Seems pretty self-explanatory to me. If you have a troubled kid, unless obviously they have like a mental disorder, but then you need to give them extra attention. You can't just raise them like any other kid, because now they're going to need extra attention, and you have to be aware that there's going to be extra consequences that come along with that, so you have to be prepared for it. It's like, you just got to know what you're dealing with, and it's not like, sometimes it's not fair, and sometimes things are harder than they may seem, and whatever, but you got to deal with what you're given, and that's how life is. And if you just give up and let your kid do whatever you want, that's why when this stuff happens, if we're going to say that kids are not adults until they're 18, parents should be 100% responsible for their children up until they turn 18. So if a kid does something, the parents should be at fault as well, because they should have full control over it. Until there's also this other side of the argument where parents are not allowed to parent anymore and punish kids and do the things you need to do to like keep kids in check, because when they're growing up, they're fairly similar to how you have to train a dog, and there's positive and negative reinforcement that goes into training a living thing. Now, when you take out the negative reinforcement, then all they ever get is positive reinforcement, and they don't ever know when they're doing something wrong. They only know when they're doing something good. You need both, and there needs to be a balance. Obviously, I'm not a parent, and I haven't been, but I have been a kid, I've been raised, and there's things that I agree with that my parents did great, and there's things that I think they could have done better. Honestly, there's times where I think they could have been harder on me, and then I might have turned out a little bit different. It's and now I have to try to establish that on my own in a later date, but that's only because they at least gave me the foundational skills of comprehending and self-awareness to understand what I'm doing. I'm sorry, I went on a little rant, but I hate people pushing off all their problems onto like making it someone else's fault. Like, oh, the internet's teaching kids this stuff. It's the parents. You can control if they're on the internet. You can control if they have a phone. You can control this. You can control what they do. And even before then, you can teach them what is right and wrong, and obviously they're going to step out of bounds because that's what kids do, but then you have to show them that that is wrong, and you have to do it early enough that they get the idea. But you can't keep them sheltered enough where one day they're going to rebel. Again, as I said, it's like a fucking balancing act, and it is hard. But just because if you messed up and you maybe didn't raise your kid right, don't start blaming it on something else. Like, people got to start taking responsibility for shit. That just pisses me off.
So addicted to your phone that you ignore the kids and never give them any supervision. So they learn to build a bomb of things you keep inside your kitchen, and you wonder how they ended up with life inside a prison. We mourn a dead gorilla, but don't care when it's a person. We're forgetting that we're human. We're angry to chickens of being locked up in cages, and then forget we do the same to kids in our institutions. When they ask you about stupid, you tell them they should Google it, then wonder why the troubled youth are homicidal lunatics. You think it's tragic when a shooter kill a student, but then say it's all a plan for them to change the Constitution. We don't want a politician making money off the bullet holes. They're digging our grave, the home of the brave has gone up in flames.
That's another big one. He just says there, the politicians making money off of bullet holes. Whenever this happens, the politicians come out in absolute flocks, arguing on one side or the other. It's like, I can't stand that shit, because I know for a fact all of them are just full of absolute shit, and they do not care, because for one, their kids are not in those schools. They don't have to deal with it. It does not involve their lives at all. None of the politicians that are in working today, maybe very few, there might be a very few, but they probably don't even stick around that long, because if you have any sense of moral capability, how can you hold fast in politics? It's like, no, I hate how it's just like a snap of the fingers, and all of a sudden this is like something they care about. It's like right now there hasn't really been, I don't think there's been, as of today, that there hasn't been like a school shooting or anything in a while, and no one has said a damn thing. It's like, why, like, if you genuinely cared about it, why would this not be something that you're talking about regularly? It's when elections come around, it's right after it happens, so they can grab the views and the eyes and the attention, and like, all politics has become a popularity contest because of the internet. It's like, who can get the gotcha moment that goes viral, and they want to become big and famous, and it's so dumb. They're like teenagers now, like these like 50, 60 to 80, or for whatever reason they're that fucking old, to 80-year-old fucking people in politics are trying to act like they're teenagers on TikTok trying to go viral. Get the fuck out of here. Excuse my language, but shut up.
Give a about the system. We're not doing what we're told. The The land of the free is armed to the teeth, American dreams. Yesterday will be the same as tomorrow if we don't wake up today. We don't want a politician making money off the bullet holes. They're digging our grave, the home of the brave has gone up in flames. Give a f about the system, we're not doing what we're told. The land of the free is armed to the teeth, American dreams.
All right. That was Tom Macdonald, American Dreams. Yeah, dude. Great song. I love that song. A lot of great points. He does that a lot, but this one, I don't know, for some reason this song really started like getting to me a little bit. I don't know if you could tell I was getting a little more fired up than usual, but like, oh, Jesus Christ. He's right with a lot of it, and it's so frustrating because like it's so obvious to be able to talk about, and people are so blinded by their emotions that you can't have like an actual conversation about what's going on, because like if you say anything that goes against what someone else believes, they get like personally offended by it. It's like, did I say something that insults you, or did I just say something that I think is going on in the world? How is like I'm sick of this whole idea of like when someone, like when you disagree with someone, like you paint them evil, you know? It's like calling people Nazis. All that does, you're calling someone down the street who works at fucking Wendy's a Nazi, or someone who like in your same neighborhood, like what? That doesn't make any sense. It's like you diminish the power of that word and what it actually stands for when you use it for something stupid. Like, there's nothing in this country right now that's even close to Nazism. Like, are there like Nazis probably in the country? I'm sure, but there's definitely not a lot of them. It's like, I don't know. This whole idea, this whole world is fucking just ridiculous. It keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier every year, and I'm like, I'm still kind of young. I'm like, what? By the time I'm old, what the hell is gonna be going on? I have no idea. I can't even guess what could come next. Like, we're at like the brink of like, if it goes any further in one direction, it's gonna eventually go back to like some sort of Nazism or concentration camps, because we're just back to completely demonizing people. Or civil war. It's like everyone's trying to act like they're so much at everyone's throat, and I'm like, how much has really changed other than what you're saying? We're still living the same life. We're still in the same country. We're still right next to the same people. And then all of a sudden, like, you snapped your fingers over like the course of like the last 4 or 5 years, and now like we're in some sort of catastrophe. No. People need to get off the fucking internet. as I'm talking to a camera, posted a video on the internet. Whatever. We're all hypocrites too. Yeah. Whatever. If you don't want to watch my videos anymore, get off the internet. Go live your life. It'll be better for you. But I still enjoy doing this. So I'm not necessarily on the internet. I'm talking to the whatever. I'm not gonna get into it. All right. I'm just rambling at this point. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I know I got a bunch of Tom fans that subscribe to me. I love checking out Tom's music. It's one of my favorite music journeys to go on. He's one of the first rap artists I've genuinely become a fan of. And yeah, I really like his stuff. He speaks truth. Obviously, you can see he pulls the emotion out of me and gets me thinking. And I know he does the same for a lot of you. But yeah, leave your thoughts about this song in the comments. Leave me more suggestions. I'm still, I'm going to be running through them. But if you guys have like one you want me to check out right away, obviously I'll try to do that if it gets a lot of likes. But I'm kind of going along his timeline of the stuff he released and, catching up to modern day. So thank you for hanging out and watching some Tom Macdonald with me, American Dreamz, and I will catch you around.